Everyone thinks the Industrial Revolution's worst damage happened in factories. They're wrong. It happened in the streets, invisibly, while people slept. On December 5, 1952, a weather pattern collided with post-war London in a way nobody saw coming. A high-pressure system rolled in from the Atlantic, trapping cold air over the city. Nothing unusual there, but London in December burned coal, millions of tons of it. Every home, every factory, every bus and train station pumped smoke into that trapped air. Within hours, the city didn't just get foggy, it became something else entirely. This isn't just a story about bad air. This is Exhibit 1. By December 6th, visibility in central London had dropped to 3 meters. 3 meters. You couldn't see across the street. The fog was so thick, so yellow-brown, that streetlights came on at noon. Buses crawled at walking speed. People tied ropes between lampposts to navigate. But here's what makes this different from ordinary smog, and this matters. The fog wasn't just smoke. It was sulfur dioxide, soot, and ash, all chemically locked together by the cold. It didn't disperse, it accumulated. Londoners woke up with burning throats. Hospitals reported respiratory emergencies within hours. Nobody panicked yet. They thought it would lift by evening, like always. Exhibit 2, by December 7th, the death rate in London had tripled. Tripled, the city's newspapers barely noticed. There was no emergency broadcast, no public health warning. Death certificates listed pneumonia, bronchitis, heart failure, the obvious culprits. But doctors were seeing something new, otherwise healthy people collapsing. Young people, old people, the fog didn't discriminate. The government's response, they did almost nothing. The Ministry of Health issued no guidance. The Prime Minister made no statement. Officials assured the public that fog was a London tradition, a quirk of climate, not a crisis. Life continued. Schools stayed open. Factories kept burning coal. The smog kept thickening. Exhibit 3, and this one's haunting. By December 9th, the fog had spread beyond London. It blanketed a 30-mile radius. Air quality measurements, the few that existed, showed pollution levels 10 times normal. But most Londoners didn't have access to those numbers. They just knew their eyes burned. They knew they couldn't breathe without coughing. They knew something was terribly wrong. Here's the cruel detail. The fog was worst in the poorest neighborhoods. East London, where coal consumption was highest and ventilation lowest, was hit hardest. Families living in cramped tenements had nowhere to escape. No air filters, no warnings, just fog seeping under every door and window. The wealthy in the West End, with better homes and access to information, fared better. By December 10th, the death toll had become impossible to ignore. Hospitals overflowed, morgues ran out of space, funeral directors couldn't keep up, and still, the government hesitated. No emergency declaration, no coal rationing, no factories ordered to shut down. The fog, they insisted, would clear naturally. It always did. Exhibit 4, the meteorology finally broke on December 11th. A weather front moved in, wind picked up, and the smog began to lift. Within 48 hours, visibility returned. The fog dispersed. Life looked normal again, but the damage was done. The final count, between 12,000 and 15,000 excess deaths. Some estimates run higher. The Great Smog of London 1952 became the deadliest air pollution event in recorded history. More people died in 5 days of fog than in most wars, more than in the Blitz, and it happened because of how we heated our homes. What makes this truly extraordinary isn't just the death toll, it's what happened after. The Great Smog became the catalyst for environmental regulation. The British government passed the Clean Air Act in 1956, the first major air quality law in any industrial nation. It banned the burning of coal in urban areas. It required cleaner fuels. It worked. But here's the irony, the one that sticks with you. While London was suffocating, while people were dying in the streets, city officials had data showing the problem. Weather stations had recorded the inversion. Hospitals had documented the deaths. Scientists understood the chemistry. The knowledge existed. The response didn't. That's Exhibit 5, the bureaucratic delay. Between the moment the crisis became clear and the moment the government acted, thousands more died. Not because solutions didn't exist. Not because nobody understood. But because institutions moved slowly and the vulnerable paid the price. The smog itself was a mixture of sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter, the same pollutants we track today. Modern cities still face smog events in Beijing, Delhi, Los Angeles. The chemistry hasn't changed, but our response has. We have air quality alerts. We have regulations. We have the historical example of 1952 hanging over us like a warning. What's unsettling is how preventable it was. London didn't need to wait for tragedy. The fog could have been predicted. The deaths could have been prevented. Coal fires could have been restricted before the smog rolled in. But prevention requires action before crisis becomes undeniable, and institutions rarely move that fast. So we return to the original claim. Everyone thinks pollution's worst damage happened in factories, in smokestacks, in industrial zones away from people. The Great Smog of 1952 proved them wrong. The deadliest pollution event in history happened in the heart of a major city, on the streets where people lived, worked, and breathed. It wasn't an accident of nature. It was an accident of policy. The Great Smog established a hard rule. Governments must act on environmental data before bodies pile up. 12,000 Londoners paid the price for that lesson. Their deaths weren't inevitable. They were the result of delay, denial, and the assumption that fog would clear on its own. It did, but it took thousands of lives to teach the world that sometimes waiting isn't an option. This is the kind of historical catastrophe that rewires how societies function when we finally pay attention. Every air quality alert you see today, every pollution regulation, every warning system exists because of December 1952. The smog is gone, but its shadow still teaches us. Subscribe. Each week we uncover the disasters, mysteries, and strange truths that reshaped our world.